So look, I'm about to go in here and propose to my girlfriend of 4 years. We've been talking about it for real, but I really love her, so I want to see how this gonna go. I proposed to her once, we wasn't ready. That was a year ago, so let's see how it goes now.
Are you nervous?
Am I? But you know, everything's been good for the last year. I mean, she's been by my side and everything, so you know.
Yeah. This is her favorite restaurant, right?
Yeah, this is.
Okay,
She love
okay.
Red Lobster. She like the pasta here.
Yeah. All right, well, go ahead. I'm on. I got you. Thank you.
Y'all go to the bar, y'all.
Oh, there she go. There she go.
What's up, baby? Brought you here today to your favorite restaurant. I just want to let you know that I do love you. And these last 4 years that we've been having together has been phenomenal. I want to ask you to be my wife, and I want to marry you.
No.
What you mean, no?
No,
We
I'm not finna marry you, and I'm not finna let you do this in no doggone Red Lobster. Look what you got on.
But this is your favorite
Get
restaurant.
up. You embarrassing yourself, and you got folks looking at us.
It's not
And then you had me sitting here waiting.
Baby,
We already talked about this. I do
we
not
talked
want to
about it.
marry
We
you.
talked about it about a year ago. Come on, now how you want to decline
No,
my
let's
feelings
go.
for
I'm
me?
not finna do this with you, and you got these folks looking at us like this. Get out my face.
Baby,
You want me to still record?
Like,
it's-
no, stop. I do not want to marry you. You won't hardly work. I can't even get you to go to church with me.
Baby,
You cut hair in your mama's kitchen. Get
that
out my
doesn't mean
face.
that that's a hustle that I have.
Do you want me to still record?
Baby, listen.
No, stop. I do not want to marry you.
Oh my God.
And then you gonna come doing this in Red Lobster.
This is your favorite restaurant, ain't it?
Shut up.
Baby, listen, this is 4 years that we had together.
No, leave me alone. You got these folks following us. Stop. God, hey.
Have a good day, guys. Sorry about that. You with them?
I apologize. Baby, look. How you gonna just decline me in front of everybody? You said you
We talked about this. This is your fault.
But
you
you wanted
was
to
in there
spend the rest
looking
of your life
stupid.
together.
We talked about this. I do not want to marry you.
So that's
You
it.
don't even have. You don't got no money to do nothing for me.
How you know that? This is supposed to be a partnership.
Because for
We're supposed
4
to
years
build.
I've been carrying you.
So
For
that's
4
how it is.
years
You
I've been carrying.
me.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
So why
Yes.
you haven't been left? Why you haven't been left? You
I
just
don't
stick
know.
around?
I don't
That's
know.
how you-
Maybe
that's
I
what you
settle.
do.
Maybe I settle. I don't know.
So how you gonna do
You
that
got-
then?
Look at this.
That doesn't mean- Let them see.
That's
I'm out
the
here.
problem.
I'm out
That's
here.
the problem. You don't
I'm out here
care.
begging for
You
your
don't-
love.
You don't care enough
How
to do better.
that
That's
I don't
why.
care. I'm out here proposing to you.
You gonna get
That
these,
doesn't make
you
sense
gonna
to
make
me.
these folks call the police on us.
Let them go. I don't.
Bye. I can't do this with you. You need to stop. Really.
You know what? If you want me
I'm
to stop,
sick of
it's
this.
over. That's
And
the
that's
second
fine.
time that I
That's
proposed to you.
fine because I've been with
since
somebody
I'm-
else
since
anyway.
I'm such a
I've
lead-
been seeing somebody else anyway. How about that? That's why. You want to know why? That's why.
You know what? You can start recording.
Yeah, she could have been and stuff.
You can start recording.
What's up, Marcel? Yeah, good evening. Got a crazy situation that just happened to me. Everything on my computer just crashed. Never Never has that ever happened to me, and I'm in IT, so I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, I literally was getting ready to go. Something had happened with my camera thing here, and then just was crazy. But anyway, we're here. We're here. Let's try to make this a good one. I won't be before you long, so let's just try to make this fun. I had a very busy weekend. I was in Atlanta for the How Sweet the Sound contest. I forgot that they were still doing that. I could say I was happy to be a part. It was a great. It's LeBron fan trying to hack the stream. It might be Kirk. It might just be because they're not liking me right now. But yeah, the How Sweet the Sound. I forgot they were doing that concert. They were doing that concert still, or that contest, and I was there. It was a good experience. It was good. It's always great to see some of you. Some people that I met and some people that I saw again, some friends, new friends, some old friends. It's always great when musicians come together and it's a real, camaraderie there where we can talk to each other, we can laugh, we can joke about the things that's happening, we can have good discussions. I'm always happy to see you guys. I never take it for granted. And I never go around saying, well, who I am. I just, I'm just Derek. And it's good to see good people. And but one of the things that I saw, that I witnessed, and I hate that we do this, when we get titles, and to one of them, I'm not going to say his name. He's always been cool with me, but he was cool. But it's others. When we get some sense of a title or something like that, it always goes to our heads. We always say, "Oh, you got to do this," and it's that tone. And I saw a lot of that. I didn't like that part of it. I felt like it kind of turns people off, and you never know who you running into doing that. Some people might want to get active and start a fight, but it was just crazy to see at even this event, some nastiness that we can display to each other. And I don't like that because we all claim that we're singing for the glory of God, but I just can't understand how we singing for the glory of God and be so nasty to each other. It was something else that happened. I'm not sure if I want to go there now, but it was some other things. Needless to say, it was an experience. But let me say this, and then we'll move on. It takes an amazing amount of integrity and class to know how to win with dignity. We're always taught how to lose with dignity and to congratulate and everything else, and don't be mad and make up excuses and everything. Something that hasn't filtered down to the goofies yet, but still, we've all been taught that, hopefully. But it takes an amazing amount of grace to win gracefully, not gloating, not screaming, not running down the hall, not acting a fool because you won. I mean, but some people didn't get that memo, and it turned into something that I found repugnant because you won and you screaming in people's face, you running down the hall, you acting a fool. I mean, tell me if I'm being over dramatic, but I mean, I'm not saying you can't be happy. You won, but it was just over the top. Some things that I saw in that hallway, and I was like, ugh. And I said to my friends that, my friend asked me to play. I was like, I'm never doing one of these again. I mean, I was quickly reminded why I don't like playing them anyway. Like I said, I'm always happy to see, my friends, my musician friends, but man, I'm done with How Sweet the Sound because it's just way too much. It's way too much. Some of the things that I would hope that they would change. You don't put artists, whether you feel like they're local or whatever, you don't put them in a room for 3-4 hours. You don't feed them. You don't do anything. They just in the room. You don't do that. That's unacceptable. Give them some form of hospitality, give them some food. I like it when it was in Chicago, they would at least feed us. They didn't do that. You just sat in this room the whole time. I didn't like that. I really didn't. It was just a lot. Like I said, there's some other things. We won't go there, but yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm done with that. But anyway, the video that you just saw, this young man tried to propose to his woman, whatever she was. I mean, she didn't behave quite like I would have hoped, but some people actually agree. Now, I want to ask you, do you agree with the way that she did it? She snapped off on him in a restaurant and pretty much brought him down. Do you agree with it? Now, there were some people that actually did. One lady actually said this: although she was harsh, she did nothing wrong. She carried him for 4 years, and clearly he doesn't want to improve on anything. He refuses to do better. She appears to be a woman with standards. That's that word again, that standards word. I love how she did not settle. Some women would jump into that marriage just to say that they have a husband, then be disappointed that the marriage ends what they anticipated. Good for her, dump him. That's what she had to say. Now, let me ask you this question. What do you expect from a marriage? If you have a man that loves you and everything, now, I granted, if he doesn't want to do anything, then of course. That's why I always try to tell the men to have your affairs in order before you try to ask a woman to marry you, because especially these days, they're not going to really listen to you. They have their standards and these echo chambers that they listen to. And so now it's extremely hard for them to for you to live up to those standards, because some of them are extremely eyes, like you want a unicorn with a penis. So I don't know. But I agree, he should have had his affairs in order, but it's just the way you do it. She didn't agree with that, but yeah, that was crazy. Anyway, he says she's wrong for cheating, but she's not wrong for refusing to settle. That's settle again. And we're going to get into that. I'm move through this thing. She already said no. It means he needed to do better, and clearly he didn't. Some of these men get a good woman and become comfortable. There's nothing wrong with her wanting better. That's that word, fellas. Remember that. There will always be some women, not all, of course, not even most, but there will be some women here who look at you and say, I can do better. Even when reality has shown them that they can't, they still will try. But anyway, he says she carried him for 4 years, so she clearly loved him. All women aren't desperate for a ring, and him not wanting to go to church with her shows that they're not on the same page. All right. Yeah, good woman. You're right. They said good woman. Now, a good woman wouldn't behave like this, in my opinion. A good woman would not seek to bring him down, and a good woman would not cheat with him. But I'm going to make a great point when this ends. Here's the last statement. She says, what did she do wrong? Speak the truth. He didn't even have a ring in the jury box open. Man, bye. Exactly. Dating doesn't mean you're obligated to marry a man, especially if he hasn't made improvements to show he is capable of supporting a wife and family. But here's the funny thing. He was with her 4 years. He hid. So you gave him the most valuable thing on your body, a man that you had to carry, a man that you not want to marry. And then you turned around and stepped out on him with another man. So you got two on you now. And some people would sit up and say, Lord, she's a good woman. Oh, that's a good woman. No good woman on earth would lay up with a man or be with a man 4 years. You say you carried him. But if you felt like he was trash, why would you carry him? You carried him just to drop him off? I don't understand that junk. In the settle thing, you settling. Okay. I think this was a skit, to be honest with you. But if this was real, I would have loved to see what happened to her later on, because a lot of you ladies, you always say we can do better. I'm not going to settle. All right, you're not going to settle. You're not going to settle. I'm going to skip. I'm going to come back to one, but let me show you this. This is the 40-year-old virgin. Y'all remember him? So some of my, we won't be doing the fancy little things that I normally would do with my whatever. But anyway, this is the 40-year-old virgin, right? So you said you refused to settle. Let me introduce you to the 123-year-old virgin. It says she's waiting for the perfect man. This is going to be some of you, because you're going to wait this long seeking for a perfect man, and you're going to end up now, you're not virgins. A lot of you have spent a lot of time. Wait a minute. Getting those cheeks clapped. You got those cheeks clapped. But so virgin is long gone with you. But she says she's still a virgin. I'm waiting for the perfect man. This is some of you, because you have these standards and you feel like you are settling. But here's the thing that I've been saying to you for the longest time. The men you think you are settling for, this is what you qualify for. Why? Because these are the men in your inbox or at you. For real. So you say I'm settling, and you keep listening to these women in these echo chambers. Some of them have husbands, but they talk to you because they want money. Like this person, Danae Jackson, 2 payments of $495 a month. Now I think this is cap. This is funny though. Infidelity recovery boot camp, coaching, 2 payments of $3,000 a month for special coaching. Now I think this is cap, but I've seen these things, these same things from other ladies trying to sell you a dream. Get your perfect man, $500 a month, and you'll go. And they won't do nothing but blow smoke up your aspirations because there are no real men there, just simps. Well, you're going to get the truth over on this station. You're going to get the truth over here. I'm never going to lie to you. And I think that's the biggest problem. And we're going to talk about that later too. The biggest problem that some of you have, you've been lied to your whole life. So that's why you have these standards. Oh, she has standards. Now, I wonder what this new man has. I wonder what he does. I wonder what he does. What kind of money does he have that's going to support her life? Then you got dudes like this.
My homeboy got mad at me. Now he ain't talking to me because we in the club and he tried to talk to these women, but he married. And I told him, hey, bro, you need to cut that out. He told me, man, why you hating, bro? Well, I ain't hating. I ain't tell you to walk down that aisle. I ain't tell you introduce me to this woman and you go get that ring on your finger. Got me out on this wedding, spending all this money to come to y'all wedding to watch you come in this club and cheat and mess it all up. That's my money I spent on your wedding. I spent my money on your wedding. And I spent a lot of it too. We all in Vegas and all of that, all these casinos, and I'm spending all of my money. Nah, y'all stand together. You the one introduced me to this lady. Got me calling her sis all the time and all that. I'm not gonna be lying in this woman's face. Boy, you better go get you a drink. I pay for it. Get you a drink and sit down somewhere, bro, because you ain't finna. Nah, I spent too much money on y'all wedding.
Now, mind you, some people said he was right. He's right. Man, I need a friend like that. He's not talking about the sanctity of marriage. He's not talking about how you're supposed to build a legacy and how it's just unfair that you would lie to your wife. You took these vows before God and other people, assuming that you're a Christian, a believer. I wouldn't say Christian, but a believer. Assuming that you are that, you took vows. No, I spent money. So because I spent money, you should stay with your wife. But here's the funny part about it. If she didn't know he was cheating on her at the club, she does now. She does now.
God, you can't make this shit up.
When he started talking, you start saying, yeah, you talking to the club. Now she's sitting up here listening to you, his best friend, put it all out here that he's been in the club. I'm like, hold up. What is going on here? You just can't make this up. So me personally, I don't need friends like that. Yeah, you could tell me I'm wrong, and my friends would. I think my cousin's here. He would tell me, yo, D, you took vows. It's time to go home, bro. But he definitely would not post it on Facebook. Damien. Yeah, and I had the iron print that to prove it. That was the funniest thing. Damien, I'm not going to go there, but that was funny. When you know, before we could even get the tuxedos back to the shop, it was already an issue. That was a red flag, but yeah, that was crazy. But he did dry snitch. That's dry snitching because he probably wanted to. Can I do it one time for y'all? He wanted to clap those cheeks. And that's the one thing that some of these dudes do. I know for a fact they do it because some tried to do it to me. They'll go text my girl or text the girl I'm with or call her or whatever, beep her. Oh, you remember those two-way pages look real big on one of my favorite phones that my cousin used to have, that T-Mobile phone, when you click the switch, it'll flip up and you look like a video game system. They'll text her, call her, Morse code or whatever and say, hey, your boy out here wrong. Hey, but what about me and you? You know, this is the thing. I'm going to move on, but some of you ladies fall for it. You know, I've always had a crush on you. I always thought you was cute. But they'd do it to your girl. I don't know, fellas. You might not have no friends out here like that. Just my opinion. Now, I saw something that was very disturbing. I know this is Gay Pride Month, and I don't have a problem with it because I'm very confident in my sexuality. But I saw something, and y'all can tell me what you think on the other side. Let's roll that beautiful hood bandit footage.
Gay baby. It's a gay baby. Gay baby. Gay, gay, gay. Please be gay. Oh. Okay. Be what you want to be, but be gay. Okay? Thank you. Right? No pressure. No pressure, but pressure.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
I can. And I will never use that W. Now, I consider myself to be the W. I say it one time, but this is the last time you're going to hear me say it. I consider myself to be woke. But what I'm saying woke is I'm awakened. I have been awakened to my identity. I understand some things about us and our history and our whole little situation over here in the Americas. I understand a lot of things, but I've taken the classes, I've done the research to, validate my level of consciousness. But now we've come to an era where that word has taken a negative connotation and slightly racist and homophobic and whatever. But this right here is very, very disturbing. I think we've gotten to the point where we're not allowing children to be children. You cannot dictate that this child will be that, even though that's what you would want it to be. If a boy or girl wants to be alternative or homosexual or lesbian, let them make that decision when they're 18. Because in my house, you're going to be what I want you to be. This is not Burger King. I'm the dictator, I'm the authoritarian, I'm the emperor, I'm the king, and I'm also the executioner. You come up in my house with that, it's going to be one. In my house, you will live by my rules. You don't get a choice. I believe everybody should have their choice when they're 18. You're grown. But in my house, you're going to do what I want you to do. Now, I'm not going to be beating you over the head. Now, and trust me, I would definitely understand and see some things in you. But you would understand, you better do that. Look, if you like smoked sausages as a boy, you're going to smoke those sausages outside of my address. That's the rule. But to hold a baby, look like it's a very, 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 very young baby, and say, be gay, be gay. So you know what's going to happen? Every time you turn around, she's going to be forcing that child to be something that he may not want to be. He may like cat. I know I do. It's nothing about a woman's body that I do not like. Well, yeah, it's nothing about, but I don't want to talk about sex today. That's later. But nothing about a woman's body that I do not like. I like women. I love them. I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. The way you move, the way you smell, the way you gracefully. Now, I don't like mannabes. I'm talking to the ladies that are feminine. I don't like you, bro. No, not you. This is not your conversation. I'm talking about the elegant, graceful women. There's nothing about you I don't like. I love the way you move. I love the way you talk. I love the way you smell, assuming that you washed your aspiration. I love it. I do. But if you are a man that's gay, that's fine. It's just not my testimony. Akasha Bodobo Sandia. That's just not mine. But under no circumstances should I think that you would want your son to be something that young. Let him develop and have his own mind. Not even God's forcing him. Let him grow and let him, if that's what he wants to do, of course, I'm going to love you still, even if I disagree with you. But in my house, I'm going to teach you the ways that I'm thinking should be the right way because I'm a believer. So I'm going to teach you in the ways of Christ. I'm going to teach you the Bible. I'm going to teach you Old Testament. I'm going to teach you New Testament grace. I'm going to teach you Old Testament law. I'm going to teach you New Testament grace. But then when you're 18, after I've taught you, after I've showed you everything, then assuming that, the mother allows me to be in his life if we're not married, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm going to teach you the ways. I'm going to teach you the ways. With the education, if you still decide that this is what you want to do in your own apartment and house, then do so. I'm still going to love you. Well, can I bring him over to my house? We ain't going that far yet. You're going to have to wait on that. We're not going that far. But this is just how I was totally disgusted that you would even do that. That's not what this is for. You don't do that to children. You let them make their own decision when they're old enough to understand. And then they still have to understand that you have rules, you have laws, you have things that they need to adhere to in your house. That's just my understanding. That's my opinion. But that was totally disgusting. Last thing, well, next to last thing. I saw this on my timeline, and I have been seeing this as an artist, a bass player, gospel bass player, whatever. I've been seeing a lot of you, and whereas I kind of understand, but I wanted to touch on it real quick because it keeps happening. It says if you don't support other artists, then you don't deserve support from other artists. So for me, let me say this. What up, Jason? Let me say this. If I'm an artist, I'm only an artist which says I present art. I play music, okay? But as far as the sign, gospel, the face artist, if that was me, if that was what I was purporting myself to be, I don't want your support. No, I don't. I don't want your support. You can keep your support. You can keep your patronizing, your low-key hating, your, overcritical supporting aspirations right where you are. You know what I want? I want fans. I want the level of fandom that Beyonce gets. I want a beehive. Ooh, pause, super pause. Wow. Yeah, I don't want, wait. Yeah, let's take that back. I just want fans. That's what I want. Why? Because fans will support you when you have a bad album. Fans will support you when you have a good album. Fans will support you when you do something stupid. Fans will support you when you do something great. Fans will support you through thick and thin. They will come to your concerts. They have paid the money. They don't care how much it costs. They're going to show up to your concert. If you tell them to wear orange, they're going to wear orange. If you tell them to wear blue, they're going to wear blue. If you tell them to wear click-clacks with aspiration-less chaps, they're going to do that. That's fans. I don't want supporters. I want fans. But here's the thing that some of you artists are not understanding. To get fans, you need to do something to get your aspiration fans. We don't give a falcon about you wanting support. We want you to do something that makes us want to come to hear you. You're not doing that. You're doing the same lackluster concerts, the same lackluster gigs. Every time we see you, it's the same thing. You're not giving us anything to say, oh my God, I need to leave my house. I got a nice little situation over here. It's very comfortable for me. And I'm tired. I work day and night. I work hard for my money. If I'm going to leave the confines of my nice situation to go listen to you, then guess what? You have to present something that I want to see. I don't give a falcon about support, none of you. My friends that I love, my brothers and everything, I will support you, and if nothing else, I will buy. But some of you, you know that. You've done concerts, I bought tickets from you, even though I didn't show up. That support, you cutting up, Kurt, already. But listen, this is just my advice. Stop begging for people on the internet or anywhere else for your support, for their support. Do something, do it well, and they will come support you. They will. I know I will. I will come to Chicago, even to the West Side, to come and see you. I will do that. But stop expecting people to go and pay the two valuable resources, especially for men, time and resources, their financial resources and everything else, to come and see mediocrity. We want to come to see excellence. And if you are presenting excellence, and here's the thing, we don't care what you think about you. Your results will show that you're excellent, okay? If people are lined up outside your building to see you, like if you're having, we did our little journey, well, not little, but it was a journey thing, right? We did it in Atlanta. And, when I looked in the audience, I was like, wow, it's not that many people here, but we still gonna give them a good show. Hey, I'm here, I'm ready to play, let's do it. When I went outside to get my uniform. I left something in the car. I think it was my uniform or something. I ran out to the car to get it, the rental car. And this was in Atlanta, Georgia, at William Murphy's church. So when I went outside, now mind you, it was scorching hot. There was a line that flowed from the lowest valley to the highest mountain all the way, and it curved and went all the way to the back. By the time that concert started, it was so packed in that hot church that you couldn't believe. Why? Because they knew, if for nothing else, we were going to entertain them. And them tickets wasn't cheap. They were not cheap. And they showed up because you did something that they wanted to see. And I'm sure other artists can agree with their concerts when they lined all the way up down the whole street for them to get in their concert. That's what you need to do. That's not support. That's people that actually want to see you. Well, I'm pretty sure there's haters in there, but they pay their money. Yeah, Beyonce fans are different. I give you that. They're borderline insane. But you get what I'm saying. We're not going to support you. I'm never going to support mediocrity. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But y'all check this out.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Real quick, this is gonna freak you out. Y'all ready?
She's right here. Can you get her out?
How did this happen again? Can you move back?
Oh, someone here? It's the officer, Kylie.
Ma'am, I'm Officer Ryan. I'm going to be helping you. I'm going to be trying to help you out, but I need you to stay calm. I'm going to try to pull you the other way. 1, 2, 3. I'm pulling. You're going a little bit.
You're moving.
There we go. Yes.
Here. I got it.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm filming the whole thing. Don't worry.
1, 2, 3. Pushing you in.
Go in. Yeah. Go.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, she's in.
All right.
Okay. Now you can maneuver, right?
All right.
She's
Turn
gonna
your
run out
body
of
again.
oxygen.
Turn your body. All right. There we go. We have a leg.
Oh. Can you get the other one?
You got it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Keep pulling.
Let's go.
Keep
Keep
going.
jumping.
Keep going.
Keep jumping. Pull, Kylie. Pull. She's out. Oh my God. She's free.
Some people just do anything for attention. I swear. I love the internet because it helped me meet some of you, a lot of you. But we just do too much for clout. I just feel like clout it's a hell of a drug. I mean, how does it? I agree, Jeremy. Man, Antoine, look, wow. You just can't make this up, man. She just taking all sorts of L's today. Jesus, people, help your people. Help your people, Lord. Help your people. We need to pray. We need to pray for these people. God, please touch the dumb people. Help them understand that they don't have to do this stuff. They don't have to get on the internet and try to make videos and get stuck in the dryer guide. Help them to understand that they don't need the attention from people that don't know them. Help them to seek attention from you first, God, and then their family and their friends. Help them to understand that that's the circle that should love them. They don't need attention from us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. That was a prayer. I hope you felt it. Let's go. You know, I love doing Preachers Going Wild for you guys. I really do love doing it. Preachers Going Wild is something I came up with because it was just funny. Something that we can laugh at, something that happens in church that we can say, oh, wow, that's funny. This actually really happened. I'm going to be serious later on because this is going to turn into a serious moment. So give me 10 minutes with this Preacher's Gone Wild. But anyway, let's start off with some fun. Listen, if you're a good top player and you're not moving like that when you're playing in the same band with me, I don't want you. One of young up and coming musicians, his name is Jonathan Miller. We call him MJ. He played at our church yesterday. If you see our live yesterday, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Phenomenal musician, phenomenal. He plays a lot of things, bass, keys. He's phenomenal, phenomenal. That is a great musician and a great personality, great spirit about him. But he sits there and chills. I mean, he kind of, but dude, he kills so hard, pause, but he's just like so chill. Y'all see me play before. Some of you, a lot of you see me play, and I'm I'm in it. I just, because we feel it. Bass players, when we hit that low A, thank you, Frank Bernard, but we just sit back and it just takes hold, right? MJ just, and when you hear him play, you be like, you not moving? The way you kill it, bro? That is crazy. It's I don't understand, but I love him to death. I love that man, pause, but he knows what I mean. I love him. But anyway, we're in church, sometimes things happen. And we've been having a lot of snafus from praise and worship. Sometimes have you really ever wanted to ask God, yo, do you want praise and worship in church? Because so lately it's been, oh yeah, Jonathan DeBose. Yeah. Yo, have you ever wanted to ask God, do you really like praise and worship? Because we've been having a lot of snafus in praise and worship sessions lately, like this one.
Guess what? He becomes walls to fall. That's all right. The enemy wanted to win.
Hate to be the one to tell you, but the enemy actually did win in that case. He won. I don't be the enemy. I wanted you to fall. You failed. So I won. People didn't even come to help you. I won. When was somebody going to go help this woman? When was somebody going to help this woman? Woman, this is 2023. But when was somebody going to help her? Let me move these chats over for a second. Hold on. When was somebody going to help her? That's my question. When? Nobody moved to help this woman. Nobody, or man, whoever it was. They just sat and let it just happen. It's been a lot of falling. I got like 3 more, but I'm going to hold them till later. Falling is crazy in praise and worship. We're just going to fall. I guess that's what's going to happen. What up, Antonio? Jesus. They were laughing, but I'm going to wait until, listen, now I got to be that person. I got to be that person, y'all. Let me explain. You said she did something wrong. Let me explain this to you. Should you fall in Powerhouse Chicago, or if I'm playing with New G or whoever, if you should fall, my first thing is I'm going to help you up. I'm going to help you up. And then right after I help you up, I'm going to... God
up.
I'm going to laugh after that. I promise you I am. It's going to be one. That's just how I am. I'm going to be like, are you okay, Mel? Oh, yeah. Are you injured or are you hurt? Oh, what do you mean? Injured mean you can't walk. Hurt means you just, you can walk it off. Oh, I'm just hurt. It's going to be a laugh. It is. It's going to be a laugh. But see, that's not the only thing that falls. Sometimes the person falls, but sometimes your clothes beat you to the ground.
We're going to say hallelujah. Hallelujah. The sound. Hey. He loves to hear it. Yes, he does. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The sound. Oh, God, he loves to hear.
If that happened to me, I don't know how I would recover. I mean, at least he had on clean. I guess from the side you did look clean, but he did. But see, the thing is, whoever this is, I'm gonna give you your props because you actually recovered and then you put off a nice little riff in the end. But man, what happened? I think he felt something rip because remember when he first started singing. I'm gonna show it again because he started reaching from, he started reaching for something. So I guess he felt a tug. Maybe he thought it was just, his button coming loose, but it was actually worse than that.
We're going to say hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Right there.
The sound. Hey. He loves to hear it. Yes, he does. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
But I love it the way this lady right here on the left with the brown on, she was totally unfazed. She was unfazed. She was unfazed with that. She said, no, I'm waiting. It kind of made me think that she was looking to say, hey, no, wait, I want to see what else you got up under there. This is church. But that's not even, okay, when you're not falling, your pants are not falling, now we got the spinning. Okay, real quick, the musician in me is raising. What was that? Bishop would have came like, go back to straight 1-5. What was that? You said this sound like the final battle instrument, right, Jason? What was that? I mean, I don't know. But the spinning part. Now, do y'all think that was a lot? Do y'all think that was, is that okay? Me personally, if I was in that church, I'd have been like, y'all lost y'all mind. But I think that anyway. I think a lot of these people have lost their mind. But I'm not saying that they have lost their mind. But I said a lot of things I see in church nowadays, a lot of things I'm hearing, a lot of things that you guys are witnessing, a lot of the teachings that you guys are absorbing. Yeah, I sort of think it's getting out here. It's getting real crazy. It's getting real crazy to me. That was a church skit. I hope so. Because because it was sent to me, they know I do this show. I hope so. I hope it was a church skit. That would make me feel so much better. Because to be spinning around like that, I wish Brian Carr was there. Yeah, me too. Me too. But now let me explain something to you. One of the problems I have in church is a lot of times when you're in the microphone, you tend to say a lot of things that you should not say. I remember the first time when I first started doing these lives, I talked about the power of the microphone. And I talked about it takes a great deal of responsibility because you can say a lot and people will, nothing is cringeworthy anymore. People cussing from the pulpit and everything else. But what I've learned is if you have a level of popularity, that people will ignore things that they shouldn't. I'm going to show you something, and I just want to know what you guys think. And we're going to talk about it on the other end.
Amen.
Not you, this.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Now, what were you trying to tell me? My sister is placed on hospice, and I'm asking for prayer. My sister, her name is Betty. Where does she live, darling? Indiana. Yeah. They say her heart is deteriorating. Her heart is deteriorating. The walls of her heart. So we just ask God to give her a new heart. Hey! I love Ah! Yeah, God, thank you. Yeah, God. Yeah, somebody help her up. She's too heavy for me. But she's just right for God. Hallelujah.
So, this video has taken off. It's kind of gone viral. When it was sent to me, I didn't think much of it. I've seen quite a few, well, not quite a few of you. I've seen some of you share it. You had your things to say. And one of the things that I found very disturbing in this was, and y'all know I do Preachers Gone Wild, so we gonna laugh, we gonna talk about some things. But the lady said that her sister was in hospice, and she said that her sister's heart was deteriorating, and then the lady prayed for her. The takeaway was, she's too heavy for me. Somebody come and help her up. I got a question, and I'm born and raised Kojic. I'm third generation Kojic. Don't you supposed to have people up there? Was it people up there to catch her? That's their job, to catch her, make sure she doesn't fall, or if she falls, make sure she helps her up. When she said she too heavy for me, I didn't really take offense to that because you're 89 years old. You shouldn't be picking up anybody or anything. You're 89. Your days of picking up anybody is over. So I really didn't take offense to what she said. But because of her track record, people took it and said that, oh, this is funny, she's heavy, and they made a big joke out of it. And out of all the laughing that I saw, nobody I can count on one hand how many people in that whole thousands and thousands that I scrolled through. I can count on one hand how many people actually threw up a prayer for the woman who's in hospice. This hit very, very personal for me because that woman is my aunt. And both of those women are my aunt. So for me, it showed me, remember I told y'all, I've been saying it for a long time, I don't recognize this church. Because people of the world don't care nothing about my aunt. They don't care about neither one of them. They could care less. They wouldn't know her if they fell over her in the street. These are all church people. These are all church people. And whereas I understand you're going to have your fun or whatever, you're going to say whatever because Mother Kelly, y'all like her. Y'all like the fact that she's quick with her tongue, and because she's older, it's okay for her to say. And yes, that's bullshit because my aunt, my grandmother, she didn't say what was on her mind. None of the older women that I know say anything that's on their mind. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. Just because you have a mic don't mean you can say whatever you want to say. That's bullshit. But I understand, but the problem, the laughter, I know this is how we do. Got it. But when did y'all hear the lady said she was in hospice? And so somebody left a comment and said, but that woman got power. So I'm going to call you up on that. I think my cousins may be watching. Is my aunt still in hospice? Has she received a miraculous healing? Because that's what I'm expecting. Because if this was what you say, it's acceptable because what she prayed for is going to happen. Now, I have faith. Don't get me wrong. But if you pray, y'all said, not you, but the people that was in there, she got power. She got power. So she this, that, and the other. So you give her a pass. So if that's okay, that's fine. So I'm expecting that miracle. Because for me, it's personal. But I'm expecting that miracle since y'all want to defend the indefensible. And I don't want to hear nothing about that. She's made it here before. She did it when she told this other lady she was too heavy. Now, I agree with her. She was in the dating market. You should not be in the dating market and be that heavy. That's my reality. That's what I feel. And there's nothing none of you can say to make me fix that. We're going to go. We're going to move on to that. There's nothing you can say to me to make me think it's acceptable for you to be 300 pounds and then say, oh, I'm looking for my man. No, you're not. You ain't prepared for it. But what you don't know, my auntie been married for over 30 years, probably 40. Where's your husband? Some of the same ones you laughing. He likes her. Because some people were being very, very, very disrespectful. Because this is what you do. This woman is not bothering you. She's not leaving videos talking about scrubs, dusties, and scallies. She's not doing that. She's up here getting prayer for her sister who's in hospice. And you just totally circumvented that and you decided to go at her weight. Where did he do that at? Where are they doing that at? 48 years. So that right there, I understand how we are. We make jokes of everything. For crying out loud, y'all make jokes about Tina Turner's being abused by her husband. When she passed, instead of you celebrating her, I didn't see many videos of her performing. Instead, I saw pictures of Ike Turner in heaven waiting for her. This is you. This is you. This is who you are. You make jokes of everything. I get it. And I knew the jokes were going to come. I'm wondering where the prayers were for her sister in hospice. Did we forget about that? And we're what again? So when people from the world that y'all so desperately want to win, should they mosey into this post and they see this woman saying, my sister is in hospice, and they say, oh, my sister is in hospice, and they see people in church making jokes about that as opposed to praying for the sister that's in hospice, do you think this is the group of people that they want to be a part of? Or do they want to just continue to do their own thing? Because we can piss on you in the ground and everything else out here. Why do I need to send you my tithe? Why do I need to come to this place for every week? Why do I have to sit next to these people that if something should happen to me that requires real attention and real prayers, they're going to talk about me for something, my weight or whatever, and make jokes about it. And if I should go to the suite by and by, they're going to make jokes about that too. These are the people I want to be around? Y'all really seriously want the people in the world to come to your church? No, you don't. No, you don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that you guys want to laugh. You want to do it. I understand this is the internet. It's undefeated. It's undefeated. But when a woman, my aunt, said she was in hospice and her heart was failing, deteriorating, right there, you could have sent up a prayer. Like I said, one comment definitely rubbed me the wrong way. My aunt is not no spring chicken to be out here looking for no man. She got a man. She got a man. And three wonderful children. One of them, they like my best friend's brother / cousins. She's not, my family, we're all heavy. Most 80% of our women are heavy and obese. Forget all that. My aunt's in hospice. That's the prayer. Just say, we praying for her. Then laugh. If that's what you want to do. I didn't think it was funny, but hey, you know, it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. We should I say this all the time. We have fun on Preachers Gone Wild. It's true. We have fun. Those of you invite your friends, we do Preachers Gone Wild. But sometimes we got to put things in proper perspective. We're supposed to represent something. And we can laugh after my auntie's healed. Then we can laugh at this. See, it would have been really, really funny, a joyous occasion if we got a phone call from the hospital saying, hey, something from the hospice and said, hey, a miracle has happened. She's up walking around here running. Then we come back to this and laugh all day. But this ain't funny right now. So yeah, I'm waiting on that miracles. For those of you who want to support her and say she's full, and I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear her say, oh, well, no, she didn't mean that. And I give you that. And I said earlier, I don't believe this, that's not what she meant. But when you're doing this.
Amen. Son, God loves you. You understand? I don't know what y'all style is, but I'd comb your hair so much you wouldn't know what hit you. With your nappy-headed self, with your good-looking self, with your pretty, beautiful mouth, good-looking nose, and pretty slanted eyes. Negro, oh, I'm sorry.
You just can't make this shift up. You can't make this up. This is what I'm saying. This is the person that y'all saying is got so much power. And one thing before we move on, let me say this. This is why a lot of people in the world think we full of crap, right? Because they see this. And we can have the power to raise mountains, to raise the dead, to heal the sick, to heal the maimed, to make the blind see, to turn water into wine, to make sharks praise on and be on the praise and worship team, to make whales hug sharks, to make dogs and cats get married. But the one thing we can't do is be nice to each other and courteous and watch our way we talk to each other. So we got all the power for that. That same Holy Spirit that give you all these miraculous powers also teaches you to keep your dang mouth closed. That same one. But she always goes at big women. Some of you think I go at big women. I really don't. I've said numerous times, I don't mind a big woman if you proportion. Said that. Some bigger women I would find attractive, especially the curvier ones. But if you shape like SpongeBob, then yes, you would have a problem here. But it's something that's been happening, and we're moving on. That was tough for me, but let's just pray for my aunt. Just send up, if you love me, just send up a prayer for my aunt. Just send up a prayer for her. I think I saw her granddaughters here, and some of my other family members are watching here. Just send up a prayer for my aunt. That's the only thing I ask. I mean, you want to laugh, go. But send up a prayer for my aunt, okay? Just send up a prayer. That's the only thing we ask. All right? But I saw something. And just like that lady, we can be mean. We can be really mean. If you post something on your page and you just celebrating your life and everything else, it is very, very, very very despicable for anybody to come to your page with the intent to tear you down. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how ugly you are. I don't care how short you are or whatever. I think it's very despicable for people to come to your page. But that happened here. It says her pics are going viral. Now, this is old, but because everybody's talking about her size, I hate that. She made a post. She shouldn't even have to win the prom to take pics, whatever, to show how beautiful she is. We're going to talk about that. Now, here's the picture of the young lady. She took a picture. Now, honestly, when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, that's a nice dress. It's a nice dress, or whatever. And here's a better picture. Well, no, not that. Where's the picture? Full picture, right here. This is her. I didn't have a problem with the picture. I didn't have a problem with the picture. I mean, with her, the dress. The dress is, it's a festive occasion. It's the prom. So this is her prom picture. People were on that picture. I remember this picture. It's kind of old. I forgot how many years ago. It just resurfaced, actually, during prom season. But people were actually on this picture going at her, ripping this girl to shreds on her own page. I think she ended up taking this picture down because they went at her so tough. What kind of person are you that you would go to somebody else's page with the intent to rip them to shreds, to tear them down, to make them feel horrible because they're a bigger woman, because they're big? Why would you do that? But to me, I think the biggest thing, now let's flip this. One of the issues that I'm having is the fact that we don't tell the truth. We don't tell the truth because, please don't think I'm being mean. The dress was nice. But to tell this woman that nothing's wrong with you, that you are beautiful as is and you are perfect, you are lying to this woman. I'm just going to keep it 100. You're lying to this woman. The proper thing to do is say you look nice. I think you look nice. You can say you look pretty in the dress. But let's not. Don't. And the reason why you say, well, Derek, why would you say that? Because what happens is, it's this one lady that my sister absolutely hates. She hates this woman. But she gets on Facebook almost every day or every other day, posting pictures and saying all this other stuff, saying, I know I'm fine and everything else. And it went to her head. And she actually was on the Kendra G show talking about, I want a man to make $120,000. And I deserve it. And I'm not going to settle. That's the issue that I'm going to talk about right now. Because you lie to people. And the thing is, now that men are beginning to talk more, and I love it, we're beginning to express ourselves in our standards, and I love it. It would be, no, it's not self-esteem, Trina. Yeah, it would be self-esteem. It would be. But the problem is when you bring that self-esteem into a market. That's what I mean. And that's what's been happening. But if you look at some of these comments, she's still beautiful. You'd be surprised how many sick people are. I agree. Beauty comes from within, you right? And I'm thinking I'm fact. I love the dress. Her makeup is on point. That was true. This is not bad. There isn't nothing wrong with you. That's a lie. You're beautiful. And I'm glad to see your beautiful pictures, whatever. And it said, you are beautiful. That's what they said. They kept saying she's beautiful. She kept saying she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. That's self-esteem. That's fine. But here's the problem. You don't take any. And if you notice, it's mostly women posting that. Why? Because when you go into the market, which is what we're talking about now, you go into the market, that means you are selling something. Remember I talked about supporting and versus fans? This is where this is. And what's been happening, I've been seeing a lot more of, is women who may, be on this side saying, I deserve better. I deserve this man. I deserve that. And if he ain't this, he this. So you say, well, Derek, where does this come from? What up, Chris Terry? What up, man? It was great to see you yesterday. So whereas now in the dating market, you see things, your worth has nothing to do with your weight. And I saw this post, which led to me and this post, which is funny how it all comes together. These shows, when it's a topic, it just comes together. This lady posted this picture and said, no, my weight doesn't determine the man that I want. I can get any man I want. I can marry any man I want. I'm just waiting for him to come. That's the problem. There are men who are not the best looking, and there needs to be a woman for them too. Yeah, they're called rich. They're called rich. See, this is the advantage that men have. We're not necessarily chosen for long-term relationships based off our looks alone. That's called a perk. That's a perk. So if a man, you think, for example, Jay-Z has one of the most beautiful women on earth. Is Jay-Z fine? It's Flavor Flav got a whole trough of women in the house for him. Is Flavor Flav fine? Was Biggie Smalls fine? Was any of these men, was Donald Trump fine? Is all these men, are they handsome? Are they beautiful men? No, they're not, but they're wealthy and they're successful. Now, if you flip that script and you give these same women like this the same amount of money, they still couldn't pull the same man, because Lizzo should show you that. All men are not rich. That's true, but a lot of men are successful. A lot of men are successful. There are plenty of men who are successful making decent money and still pulling them. Now, average men, they don't have they have problems. But see, average men, what I've learned, they will accept flaws. They will accept things. But these are not the men that they want, because they listening to people like this.
Once you get into a long-term relationship with a Dusty, you become responsible for them. And then you feel guilty if you ever think about leaving them, because it feels like you're abandoning a child. And so this is also how you know why you're making excuses for this Dusty, because you've developed a parent and child relationship or a mother and son relationship. And a lot of women have to break free of that, because that's not your child.
Now, I asked my friend, who I love, what is a Dusty? She gave me a wonderful definition of what a Dusty is. She gave me a wonderful definition of what a Dusty is. But that's not the definition. But let's see the comments, because that's where you find the gold. First comment: I like watching these with the volume up next to my Dusty. Now, mind you, he's in the bed with you. You can't make this shit up. He's in the bed with you. Me turning it up just in case he not sleep. You see this. Now, man, these comments went on, and I went to some of these pages and I was like, wow, wow. That's what I was saying. Here's another one. Dusty's bring your stock value down. This is what it is. So I wanted to know, what is the Dusty? What is the Dusty? What is this woman calling a Dusty? And I learned, pardon me, but what's the Dusty? A broke man. And the comments you see, she already had 150 and it was going up when I left. So when you say self-esteem, when you bring it to the dating market and you say and present it, why is it that we are to accept this, but the echo chambers are saying we can't accept a broke, dusty man? Why is that? Why is that? Can somebody please explain to me? Men that make average money that I've talked to, they don't care about all of that. You know, they will accept some things. But as they begin to make more, they won't accept certain things. This shows you, but many, many comments in this video, it shows you that all of them want that little minute men that Trina's talking about. We're throwing away all the dusties, the broke men. Throw them away. We don't want them. We want this percentage. Is that not what's happening here? But it gets even better. Because most men that are about they grind, they don't want super obese women. They just don't. They're just not what they look for. You have some work to do. But here's the thing. Now they've been flipping it on us, fellas. Now they're saying this to us. You out here talking about our stomachs, take the hat off. Now they are conflating. They're conflating being overweight with hair loss. Here's another one. Y'all out here talking about our stomachs. Take that hat off. Here's the point. Let me put a point on it. When we present to you what we want you to do better, you reflect on us and you look at our flaws. We can control our hair loss. Some of it's hereditary, some of it's stress. I mean, we could probably not have stress, but some of us, we're going to be bald. I see men balding in 20. That's just the way it is. But we can't control this, and we can control our pockets. But here's the thing. It is very difficult for a man to level up financially. But it ain't difficult for you to lose weight like that. Not all of you. I don't want to hear I'm sick and everything. That's true for some of you, and I understand. But some of you, your sickness is eating itis. Your itis is just kicking in. You just Women look at average men all the time. No, they don't. No, Trina, do I need to pull you on here? Ma'am, we don't deflect like nowhere near. Only thing we ever ask for is for you to be physically attractive, cooperative, submissive, feminine, and friendly. That's all, and inspirational. That's all we ever ask for. That's not hard. The first one, when we even say, for example, you want to talk deflection? When we say we don't like weaves, that's not what we look for. We like natural. You get them in different colors and longer. When we say we don't like facking talons and long nails, you get them longer and sharper. When we say we don't like all the crazy makeup, you get your eyelashes longer. Everything a man says, especially black men, when we say we don't like something, you do the polar opposite. But when you say men have leveled up, black men have leveled up, there's statistics to prove it. When you said you want beards, we got beards. When you said you don't like a mohawk, we got mohawks. When you said you wanted locks, we got locks. When you said it was the time we had froze, whatever you said you wanted, most of us did. Now, the ones you choosing probably didn't, but a lot of us did. But all we ask, here we are in 2023, and it's getting worse. How can a woman control her looks? No. Yeah, well, not really. And that's fine. But the men, here's the problem though, Trina. The men that would choose this type of woman, that would pick his woman, he's being shunned because he doesn't make $70,000, $80,000 a year. That's the issue that you keep missing. That's the issue. This is not, if they were just to say, okay, yeah, we cool with that. But now, more and more I'm seeing, no, you broke. You ain't got enough. No, you broke. And these same men that would choose you if you 280 pounds and you 5'3", they're being told they're not good enough. I'm mostly natural makeup only, and I don't know what y'all talking about. That's you. That's anecdotal. I just showed you, and every week I show y'all videos. Every week. And the biggest issue is you like to be lied to. She make 50 and he make 50. That's 100. So let's stop it, ladies. Now I agree with you. They're not going to listen to you. Because just today I saw a video where this young lady was talking about how she goes 50-50 with bills. And then women in the comment section went off. When, what's her name? What's that actress name? She's married to Dwayne Wade. What's her name? They have the son that they're making gay. What's her name? Gabrielle Union. When she says she pays 50-50, they ripped that situation. We live in a different time, ladies and gentlemen, where they want traditional men, but they want to keep the modern mentality. They want to keep their modern mindset where I can go out, I can do what I want to do. I don't necessarily have to take care of the home. Gabrielle Union, that's who it is. Unionism. And the issue is 50-50, you said something that's pretty much cussing people out in today's time. These women don't want to go 50-50. They want to keep their money. They want to work. They want to work. I literally saw these in the comment section. Look, y'all need to stop looking at these videos. I mean, you look at them, but go straight to the comment section. Go straight to the comment section. Go straight to the comment section. You're going to see. And my issue is, what do you think that says to men? When we see something that we don't like and we talk about it and we are shamed for it, it's always deflection. it's always something negative to say. What do you think that says to us? How do you think we are supposed to accept that? I mean, and I'm honestly asking, what are we supposed to do? Fellas, what are we supposed to do? If you say to a woman that you just met, well, I kind of like a natural, whatever, and she said, you being superficial, you this. And then when you say, well, what do you look for in a man? Well, he got to have this, he got to have that, he got to have this, he got to have that. And when you looked at her, you initially was like, okay, this is something I'm willing to do, but it's like something you want to do, I want from you, you can't do. And I should accept you. I've heard that too. I may be 400 pounds, but you know, the man that love me, he gonna accept me. I look at this dating market today and I'm like, I feel sorry for our younger generation of men and women. But these women tend to choose the worst ones up until they 35. And then when you're 35, now you want to settle down. Now you want to find Mr. Right. Why weren't you finding Mr. Right when you were in your perfect years, in your younger years? Why weren't you trying to find him then? Why would you wait until you're older and you probably are bringing baggage, AKA somebody else's child? Why would you wait until then? You've never been married. If you've been married, not about you. I'm talking about these people who've never been married. You bringing in somebody else's kids now, and you bringing this baggage, and you bringing this, and now you saying, oh, I want to settle down. But these men that you want that's been working their life to build up, that's not what they look for. They want something that not going to cause them issues, not going to bring them drama, it's going to bring value. And the crazy thing is this. If I was to sit and ask a woman, what do you think a man wants from you? They can't answer it. The men are not ready for these younger ages. Well, now, what do you mean the men are not ready for the younger ages? Help me understand what you mean by that. So whereas I go back to this young lady, and it was wrong for you to go to her page. So do we have to put an age gap to get men mature and ready to get married? Men are usually ready for that around 35. Around 35. And those men that are above average, the ones that we're not talking about the average men that they turn down. Let's put it in context. The men making over $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, those above average men, they tend to go younger than they are. They tend to. Not all the time, but they tend to go. So if he's 35, he's more likely going to date a woman that's like 27, 28. If he's in his 40s, she's probably going to be in her early 30s. If he's 50s, probably starting in her middle 30s and up. This is the way men have been moving historically since the beginning of time. Men, especially more successful men, they very rarely will date somebody at their age and older. Why? Because most of them probably want a family. And rich men, what he said here is true. Rich men tend to want trophies. Because here's the dynamic that they're not understanding though, Jeremy. Why do they want trophies? Because rich, powerful men, they stay in competition with other rich, powerful men. And their wives of beauty is like to them the same as their cars and their houses and their stocks and their assets and their woman's assets. So at 35, he will want younger, and this could turn into caretaking. That could be a tough trade-off. She knows that. She knows that. And I don't know why you think that a man that's 35 may date a woman that's like 28. That's a 7-year difference or whatever, right? Even if men date younger, right? If the woman is smart, which a lot of them are, she's got something. So if he should croak, she's set for life. To be honest with you, y'all think marriage is for, oh, lovey, movies just deteriorated your brain. Oh, I love you. No, that's for the average. That's for the average people. But these above average men, nah, that's not where they at. I wish the message to young people was to marry and build together, both men. Yeah, good luck with that. Let me know how that works for you. You can try. I don't think I don't think that's going to happen because we're teaching our girls to get married after they go to college. Not meet them in college. Go for a man after you get your degrees. So you're 28 now, 27, 28, which is still good enough to get married. But then you're going to pursue your career. So you're going to wait till you like 32. Now you want to get married. But here's the thing. You're considered older now. And most men that are successful, they don't want 32-year-old women like that. Unfortunately, because a lot of them, only people they go after is basketball players and athletes and entertainers. And they usually go young, like 22. After college, it's hard to marry a woman who's been wild in college, and that's true. I would never teach my daughter to get married after college. I would teach her to be, first of all, I would raise her to be a wife. We would raise her to be a wife. And if she decided to go to school, of course, we would support her. But she would still be raised to be a wife. And while she was in college and still in the flower of her youth, we would be encouraging her, hey, if you should meet somebody, y'all should be looking to build together. If y'all in the same age, that's building. But if he's older, he should already have. 18 plus 5 is 23. Building a career for like 2 years, that's 25, perfect age. I started teaching at 24. Okay, but that's you. But the average person goes to school, and then when they go to school, say for instance, if they went at 19, that's 4 years. So that's 23. And then they may start in a career. You probably need maybe 3 years to start to get anything good, especially for the career. And a lot of these kids are going to get their masters. So that's 27, like I said. That's about 27, 28. I was pretty much right on that. So I feel sorry for the young lady. And I wanted to say this in closing. I feel sorry for the young lady because it's you shouldn't go to people's page to make them feel horrible. I don't think she looks bad in this picture. Where is it? I don't think she looks bad in this picture. I don't. And I think you're horrible if you're going to her page to do that. You're a bully. And I think Facebook probably would kick you off if you did this now. But when you come over to the market, the dating market, all of that changes. And I think you should present the best version of you for that type of man that you want. The problem is you listening to Miss Scribble, and she's telling you you shouldn't date Dusties. And I don't think you should date to marry Dusties either. But you also need to be real with where you are placed in the market, because you may think you are too good for Dusties, but really in reality, that's who you should be with because that's who you qualify. You can marry, but control your fertility so you can finish up your stuff. Kids are great, but they slow things down. But what if he wants kids? What if he wants a traditional family? See, that's the thing that you're not thinking about. What if he says, I want a traditional family. I don't want you, I don't really need my woman to work. I'm a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm doing this. So would you be willing to give this man children and stay at home while he works? Or no? That's the thing. And I think that's the thing that we don't think about as a community. So fellas, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Do you think that people actually lie? And it happens in church all the time. I've seen it in church where especially when a prophesier or whatever, he comes up and tells you, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. But let me say this, and I'm going off the rail, but I have to go here. There's a difference between prognostication and prophesying. If I see a beautiful woman standing in front of me, and I don't see a ring on her finger, and she looks, it's easier for me to say, you look for love in the wrong places. That's a winning combination. Your life, you've been looking for love, and everybody, these men that's straight, they just wanted your beauty, they just wanted, and they're starting bound. That's called prognostication. And I'm very privy to that. Because you ain't finna tell the backs of silver that you look for love in the wrong places. You're not gonna say all of that to them. And if you notice, I want you guys, next time you go to a church and somebody's doing the prophesying, watch how they treat the ones that are not necessarily so attractive versus the ones that they treat attractive. The ones that are attractive, the attractive women up in there, they're going to tell them all these stories about how you've tried to find love and all this kind of junk. But I guarantee you, they're not going to do that same thing to the silk. With them, they're going to say, you're going to have a job, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to be this and that and the other. But with the pretty ones, they always get that you've been hurt, these men prophecies, and it kind of goes at us like we're the ones that's doing it. I know all men don't want that. I know all men don't want that, but I'm not trying to go here with you today, Trina, but you probably need to have more talks with more men that are on a higher level, because all the men that I talk to, they want traditional wives. They don't necessarily want you to be barefoot and pregnant, but to be honest with you, they wouldn't mind a woman that would say, hey, my job is to take care of the home, your job is to provide. They wouldn't mind that. Average earning men do need your help financially, but some women, they feel like that's carrying you. They will be settling. That's the issue. The attractive ones, the attractive which ones? Which ones are we talking about? But fellas, anyway, this is for you. You see, y'all see Trina's in my comment section. I know some of you probably want to rip her. I wonder if Chris still here, because I used to love to watch them go at it. But no, fellas, do you see what I'm saying? Do you agree with me when I say sometimes they're lied to? Men, we're never lied to. Father's Day is coming around. Father's Day. You only speak of the highly valued men, and that's just 1%. No, it's not 1%. Why do you keep thinking that 1% of men make $300,000 and more? That's one. But men, 15% of us make what? 70,000? No, 80,000, 15%. 60%, maybe 20% of us make 70,000. The rest of these men make, lower than 70,000. So what are we talking about here? There are nearly 35% of us that make more than average. Trina ain't trying to come on here. Trina, are you trying to come on here? Are you fit? Are you able to come on here? Because I'll bring you on if you want to come on here. Let me check. Are you in my green room? Come on in this green room. Come on in this green room. Come on, Trina. So that leaves, come on, Trina. Yeah, the fellas want you to come on here, Trina. So that leaves the 65. Well, actually leaves more, 76% and lower make less than that, 70,000. So around there, 34%, somewhere 30%, give or take. No, not a video. No, I can turn the camera off. If you want to come in, they'll just hear you talk. They won't see your face because you don't want to be seen. But I'll make sure that you hidden. Now, I'll turn your camera off if you want to come on here. I'm talking about sex next Monday. Y'all see she backed off. Come on, girl. They will just hear you. Come in this green room. I'm going to turn your camera off. I'm going to turn your camera off. Y'all just bear with me. Give me a couple of minutes. If she going to come on here, then yeah. Chris, do you want to come on here too? Well, next week is sex talk. Okay, let me put, it's the same link, sweetheart. Hold on. Are you on Facebook? Hold on, I'm about to send it to you. Chris, if you want to come on, hold on. Here we go. Y'all, I love the fact that y'all send me Preachers Gone Wild even when I'm live. That's funny to me. Trina is coming right now. Hold on. You should have it. Just bear with me, y'all. Chris, you down? Okay, I'm sending you one too. Oh, you on YouTube. I'm gonna text you, Chris. Uh-oh. Yo, Chris, tell me. Wait, Chris, you need to text me. I don't see your number here. Chris, text me. I don't see your number here, but I already got Trina. I sent Trina an invite. Hold on, getting the text. Here you go, Chris. All right. So the invites have been sent. I'm just waiting for them to come on. We're gonna have this. I have to grab. Okay, go grab it, Chris. I already sent it to you, so you just let me know. But no, that's the thing. We gonna have this talk because yeah, Trina then gonna make me have to go to my my room because I'm on the smoke room now. she forced me to the smoke room, y'all. So you know it's gonna be what? It's gonna be a hot one. Pause. Super duper pause. But while they're coming, let me say this. If you fellas, same for you. When you enter the market, like say for instance, because we all want good women. We all want good women. But I don't see too many men being unrealistic. I don't see too many. Man, some of you are unrealistic. I'm in a few Kevin Samuels groups. But I nobody that I really talk to, they're not unrealistic. I just had a wonderful talk with a married couple when I was out of town. We were at an Airbnb, and we were actually having a great discussion to the wee hours of the night, talking about this stuff. And most of these men that I was talking to, they're not unrealistic. Why? Because I guess because we really don't care about money. Trina, you got yourself blocked. Let me make sure I can hear you. Oh, wait. I got to set my settings because I need to be able to hear you. Hold on. Set my audio so I can hear you. All right. And Trina, you should be on now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you guys hear Trina?
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Okay, so got Trina on here, waiting on Jason Terry. Okay, Jason's coming on here. But no, since you here, let me make sure they can hear me. Can y'all hear her? Okay, we can hear her loud and clear. Okay, so we got a caller on the line. Trina's on the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Hearn. How are you?
So say what you got. Say what you got to say to me, because I'm interested in hearing.
Okay, I know that you're always talking about the upper value men or the higher value men. I do think there's women who go outside of that.
Oh shoot.
65% of where they're not high value, and then they have these expectations like they're in the top 35%. That's the problem that I got. High value, these expectations
So you
like
said you had a
35.
Hey Chris, put some headphones on, my boy. Let me go.
You understand what I'm saying, D?
I hear what you're saying. I
Everybody got to know their bracket. Just like big women need to understand, hey, you're not in the market for that type of man. So who can you get? This should be the same way with the guys. If you're not in those that make that value, because a lot of that high value stuff came from Kevin Samuels. He was talking to a specific type of men, and so many of our men have latched onto that. And it's like, hey, you're not even the type of guy that he was talking about when he was talking about high value men at the time. That's not to say you can't get there, but you don't need to be so picky.
Chris, what you got to say of that?
Man, Trina, it's been a long time, man. Hope you're doing well. So
It has been. How are you?
Doing very well. So, but I got to dog you on that one. I'll be truthful with you. I think that the women nowadays are just so unrealistic. It's everybody. I'm with Derek on that one. It's not just because he's a man, but as I communicate, talk with women, have a conversation, it's like most women have that mindset that they want the best man, regardless, like you said, 250 or just not the right attractive, or they don't have the feminine qualities, a variety of things. It's like all women want the best and talk about not settling. But the reality is, in a lot of situations, men will be settling to go for them.
Okay, Chris, when you're talking to the women, are you guys talking to top of the line women who are really beautiful? Because I mean, I feel like if you're talking to the average women, they should be self-aware and understand that I'm just the average woman, so I should be looking, because I mean, I don't know what type of women y'all looking at, because
Most women are average, right? And that's not a bad thing. I think that's one of the insights we got from Kevin Samuels. It's just the fact of reality. Most people fit in that spectrum that's somewhere in the middle of being average. So, I mean, they may be on, 5, 6, maybe 7 or somewhere in there. But I think that they, could sometimes, a lot of times, look better if, like, for instance, they address the whole weight thing. A lot of our sisters are overweight. I mean, hey, I got to be truthful with it. It's like, man, I be thinking like, man, if you lost 50, 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying? I'm not being insensitive, but I'm saying that is something that they can control by and large. You know what I'm saying? So, but having a conversation, you're going to typically have with average people. Is only the top tier 8, 9, 8, 9, and 10s. You don't see those all day, every day, right?
Okay, and I'm also asking for the women that are bigger. And I get it. Maybe when you met her, she wasn't so big, but when women, and I'm not making excuses for, because I've been on my journey after I had my son of losing weight and getting in shape. But when the woman is having kids, because I feel like we'll give men so much grace for having dad bods, but a woman that has popped out a couple of kids is like, there's no sympathy for her. As a guy, if that's your wife, can you help her get the weight down?
Trina. Listen, if a woman wants to lose weight and maintain her health or a certain physical appearance after a child, she can do it. A lot of times, women lose the reins, lose the control on that, because it's like, oh, I'm kind of in. They get very, very comfortable with respect to that. But that could be.
What happens if you pop her with another baby? Because you know how many women get pregnant right after that 6-week mark?
No, it could happen. I mean, things happen, but I'm talking about the great majority of the time, women are not getting pregnant 6 weeks after they have to drop a child. But we speaking of for the majority. I mean, of course, you got those anomalies. But what I'm saying is, Trina, I think a lot of times women just get comfortable, and the reality is, why I really appreciate. I try to get to this show more often. I'll be having rehearsal, but I appreciate these kind of conversations, because a lot of women are very disillusioned in that they don't really know what men want. I ask women very, very often, what do you want from a man? I mean, it's busted fire hydrant, just boom, 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 boom. But what does a man want from you? And it's like crickets. Just happens regularly. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very, very important. A lot of times women think it's the degrees make them more, the fact they get a house, the fact they got a car. Most men don't give to, they don't really care anything about that.
Okay, what y'all want, Chris?
Huh?
What y'all want?
We want femininity. We want submission. Of course, we want
G get on my nerves.
Come on, man.
First of all,
bro. Come on, man.
I feel like so many men feel like just because they were born male that they're automatically going to get that type of submission. I feel like that is something that's earned.
What's wrong with that?
I feel like if a guy is on his P's and Q's, I think that could help a little more, because a lot of times I feel like men will have a PhD in the submission of a woman, but they will be struggling in the things that they should be doing to help her feel even safe to submit to him. Like back in the day, even in biblical times, like it was somebody who had to give you away. So these, your father or your brother kind of vetted these men to see, okay, you know, this is the level and standard that I'm able to take care of her. If I give her to you, you can do it. Now women, we out here just doing it on our own, and sometimes you just literally make a mistake. I wish that men, this is just me, I wish that men were so heavy into learning what they should be doing as far as giving a woman something to submit to. And I feel like even the most self-sufficient woman, if my man is on it and he take care of stuff, and I've learned, you know, down through the years of seeing, and I know you don't like to hear this, but if I've seen different things while we were dating where he took care of stuff, I feel like I can be able to trust him, and I won't have to feel like I need to.
Conditional femininity. Got it. And that's exactly what
But
that
you
is.
want me
And
to
that's
just give you my femininity and you haven't shown
yes,
me
you should be
anything? Guys
feminine
get
regardless.
spoiled
You're
with that, and I think
born
that's
that
where
way. Why do you think that it's acceptable to be masculine at any point while you being a woman?
I didn't say being masculine. I'm
So
saying,
what if you're not feminine, then what would you be?
I don't know, maybe it's uh guarding myself and trying to see what I feel like. Guys just feel like because they were born a man that a woman should automatically be submitting to them. I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking, and I'm not
Let me
judging you
ask you
if
this
that's for you.
question. Your very first boyfriend, right? Your very first boyfriend. How hard did he have to work to get you to be friendly to him, to be nice to him? No, I mean, I'm being
Great
honest.
question. Great question.
How hard did he have to work for you to be nice to him? How
He
hard did he
didn't,
have
but
to work
nice
before
and
you?
being super feminine and trusting you is, to me, is different.
You
I'm nice
trusted
to
your first
everybody.
boyfriend. Most of
I'm-
us trusted our first love affair. But you
well,
brought
I
up the
already know.
Bible
Let me tell
days.
you,
You
I
know the
came in
difference
already with.
between the Bible and now? When you got married, that was the one. You didn't have to worry about what she'd been through before. It was initially your first wife, and she didn't have to battle all the other men that now, because you made these choices, now you're saying this new man, he has to work for me to submit to him, which in essence is you making him pay for something he didn't do to you.
I won't even, but you know, D, I think that's where we're thinking about it differently. I feel like even if a woman has not dated a man, say for example, during her younger years, she spent her time going to school, getting her career. If I have established myself without even dating and I'm at a certain level, when I'm coming in, I'm looking for a guy at that time who can sustain me where I've already taken myself.
You would be severely damaged goods if
At
you
no,
went
I'm
your
saying if you didn't
whole
even date and
life.
all you did career. You did. I said she didn't even date. She just was focused.
Exactly. You will be severely damaged goods because you will be at that age. How can you tell me you can turn it on where you can be now into a real relationship with somebody of the opposite sex when you spent your entire life until you were in your almost your middle 20s with absolutely no contact of that way with another man? How can you figure you can handle being with the man now? That
You know,
doesn't turn on. That's something you should be taught. Like men are taught to be men, women are taught to be
who
women.
you think the men out here are taught to be men? Now some of them are.
And who are we blaming for this?
You know what? And I will give it to you. And I don't know what the answer is, but some of these single parent homes, and then moms, we can do a terrible job and ruin our children. The parent that stays can also do a job. Um,
I
I
think you're
wish things
spot
were.
on with that. I think you're spot on with that. I would say that the church plays a major part. Love the church. I go to church and the whole thing, Christian, but I think that we do a very poor job with really pushing masculinity. A lot of times they actually allow women to be more masculine than men, to be perfectly honest about it.
You
But of
saw it
Come
course,
on,
last
you
night.
know,
Chris. Now you're
Chris,
preaching.
you saw it last night.
You preaching good now, Chris. Stay right there.
you know, Oh, you know what I'm
We'll talk
saying?
about it
So,
offline. That's an offline talk.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, there are several contributing factors, but you know, if we are aware of what they are, I think we can handle it better and we can navigate through it, especially if you want to be better. Now, again, some women really enjoy being this free, independent, masculine version of a woman. And that's just really the truth of it. You know what I'm saying? Wanting to earn, wanting to work, wanting to be independent. Women were created to be dependent. They're the more communal, social of the group of the two, and you guys are designed that way. It's not to say that you can't go against your nature and do something else, but women are designed like that. So that's why because Nancy asked, how do men define femininity?
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, men define femininity based on traditional femininity, being passive, being yielding, being nurturing, being giving, supporting, and the basics of traditional femininity.
Okay, Chris, do you think that some men have taken advantage of the being passive and all this of women?
Yeah.
Because even now, men nowadays will tell their own daughter, hey, 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 you know, it's almost like fathers sometimes will even raise their daughters to be super independent or whatever because they know that group. Now, also, I wanted to point out Nancy put here that I don't feel that submission has to be earned, but I think a man has to have a plan or a mission for me to come under. Wouldn't we be able to say that he does have to earn it by asking for your hand in marriage at least enough? Because we're not just supposed to be out here submitting to any man. It's supposed to be our husband.
I agree. And
I
I
agree
think
with
that goes back. What you say, Derek?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think again, whether it's Western society as a whole, certainly the church does know better. I'm just being truthful, my honest opinion. But I think that we also don't push the man to say, "Hey, be responsible for this woman." We more so teach, make her happy, listens to her, these kind of things, which may have a small role. But if we are more responsible, like I think you're talking about, Trina and Nancy, actually, I think that we would have much better results as opposed to make her happy or something like that.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
with that.
And when I
agree
pull
with
up traditional femininity, Nancy, nurturing, sensitivity, sweetness, supportiveness, gentleness, warmth, passivity, cooperativeness, modesty, humility, empathy, affection, tenderness, kind, helpful, devoted. This is what men love. These things speak volumes to a
You
man.
need to talk about the way she moves.
And I
too.
would hope,
Oh,
Chris,
come on.
The way
Chris,
she
those
moves,
things
the
that
way
you
she
just spoke
talks.
about are beautiful, but I will hope that when a man is given that by a woman, that he will take care of her heart. Don't
We all
damage
could do a
her.
better job at vetting. That I think that's a lost art, and that's something else that hasn't, because we so happy go lucky to meet somebody that meets these, that check off these superficial boxes, and we rush into a situation. We don't take our time. You know what I'm saying? And we don't.
Well, the biological clock is ticking, her. So what you want now? You telling us
When
to
I
not
say
take
take your time, you can, yeah. But some of y'all, listen. If he's talking, for example, I did that show on red flags. We ignore these initial things. Like, I don't like when women trash the men that they dated before. I don't. Reason why is because you did something, and it's showing me that you don't want to accept accountability for what your part is in it. It's two people in a relationship. He didn't do everything right, maybe, but you had your say so in there. And I'm pretty sure if I had a conversation with him, he would tell me so. So if I meet a woman and all she does is trash it, he was this and he was that, and I'm asking, well, why are you single? Or the conversation comes up, and the only thing you do is dog them out. That's a red flag for me. And so I'm going to look at you sideways, and I'm not going to ignore your level of not accepting accountability.
Okay,
Which
D,
is a
I've
huge
grown
thing
in that
for me.
area, and I learned that from you. Now, if I say he did 10 things wrong, I'll say I did 2.
And I want to know what those 2 things are.
I'm just kidding, D. I just want
I definitely want to know what those 2 things are, because those 2 things, if you backed it like a man, I'm not going to be wrestling with you in the house. So that's the deal breaker for me. Like you said, our
But
biological
you
clock is
also,
ticking.
the way you come off as a man, you come off as like a guy that's going to, you like the woman just feel like, okay, but if this is in his hands, he can handle it. Everybody's not like that. Some of these guys out here are so passive, and I don't even think some women always want to get into that mode of having to be something. But if I put something in your hands, can you see it through to the end? I tell them, like, leadership is so big. And just like Chris was saying, I don't feel like sometimes we are raising people as far as being a leader. Like, I'm a teacher. And in my leadership role, when I go to my classroom, I have a lesson plan. I'm knowledgeable about the content. I have materials just in case my kids come in unprepared. I don't wait for them to submit to me as a leader before I start acting in my leadership role. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to our guys, if they were raised more so, because even when you look back in the day, like when a king was coming up and somebody knew that they were going to be next in line, they trained that boy so that when his time came, he was ready. I feel like sometimes now, just like with the guys, as soon as he's born with a penis, that means he's a man, and we're not doing any training or anything, and we're wondering why some of these marriages and stuff are failing.
Trina, do you agree or not that a lot of women enjoy having the walking in the masculine role, whether they see it that way or not, enjoy the independence, the freedom, the liberty to do what they want to do? Do you think a lot of women are preferring that now?
I think a lot of women just have lost hope. So maybe that's why they're walking in it.
I would disagree. Listen, because like a lot of women now say they don't even want to have children. Like that to me is like mind blowing, baffling.
You know what I would say to that when the women say that they don't want to have children, because there's been studies that have been done. When a woman marries a man, her workload goes up by 6 hours.
You can't make this shit up.
I know. I'm saying her workload goes up by 6 hours while his goes down by an hour. I follow a lot of relationship podcasts where these are actual therapists, and they said so many of the times when it comes down to relationship, the women are out here because some men cannot afford to pay all the bills, and I get it. So if I'm having to help you pay the bills, but when I come home, it's my job now to be over everything with the kids. And it's like some guys get so passive and they are not helping out. And Mr. Brissett, I don't know how to say your first name. I'm not being disrespectful. You said you're a leader in the classroom, but you are not the head of house. So I do understand that. But I'm saying when you're in a leadership role, you have to be the leader. You can't wait for the people who are up under you to start acting right before you get into the leadership role. That's what I was saying when I gave that analogy about the teaching thing.
And Trina, you really evaded my question.
How did I evade your? What do you mean?
My question is, are women preferring that? You're telling me all of this, the horror story part. I get it, but what I'm asking you, for whatever reason, we can delve into the reasons perhaps, but can we at least acknowledge the fact that a lot of women are appreciating living in a masculine fashion? Meaning like being independent, having their own, this, running, having the freedom, not having to work with anybody. You know those characteristics of traditional femininity that I just read, not having to do those things. Again, women not wanting to have children is very unfortunate.
Chris, I will agree with you, and I think women are liking those rules because unfortunately, if you go back and look at the dynamics, women had to depend on men for money. And unfortunately, I don't always think that we were treated well. So it's almost like now you want to have your own. So just in case my husband decides to want to mistreat my heart, whether it's my body or whatever, I have an out where I can take care of myself and I'm not out here struggling.
Trina, again, this is more the horror story stuff like, back then. And listen, we were 85% married. At least 85% of our children were born in wedlock. It wasn't as bad. Yes. Yeah, 50s going all the way into the 60s. It literally just transformed the last generation or two. And what I'm saying is, like hearing you speak on it, you sound like 90% of our the marriages men had children outside, and that is not factual in no sense. Now, did it happen back then?
And they
Yes,
made
and it was
movies off of
unfortunate.
it.
They made movies
Vince,
off of
that's the worst movie. I hate that movie, and I probably should have never watched it. But Chris,
I know Night Color Purple for that reason.
but Chris, from what you're saying, I feel like women, we are a community. I don't have a bunch of friends that I can say where when you go and talk to them, they can say that they haven't been completely and totally devastated by a man in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Even from looking at some of my aunts, when they were in these relationships where the power dynamics was the guy paid all the bills, I would, from my outside looking in, I didn't feel like he treated her the best. Even if it's a few stories, I feel like those stories are such horror stories that women latch onto them. And so it's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that that's not me.
I mean,
I heard this.
let me jump in. Here's the thing.
Please.
I hear what you're saying, but the same could be said about men. You know, we work our tails off, and then you have children, you know, and then you leave us. Then we pay alimony and child support. You get our house, you get the car, and everything else. I mean, that happens a lot. Even now, it happens even more. And who files for divorce majority of the time?
Women. But D, why have we, because I feel like guys will constantly go on women and say they're the ones who are filing divorce, but have we asked women why they're filing with divorce? I've known a couple of women, they say, well, I'm over here paying a lot of the bills and I have to literally do everything in the house. He does not help me. So I feel like since I have to do everything alone, I might as well be alone. I don't feel like women, our group actually looks forward to marriage the most. And when you talk about because I'm not happy, nobody wants to stay in a situation for a long period of time and be unhappy. So what can we do as far as men looking at the reasons why women just up and want to leave a marriage? Because a woman is also more likely to fall in poverty after marriage is over. So she was so miserable with you that she wanted to take the kids.
Stop. What men are you talking about? More than 70% of men are working.
No,
So
but
are you
I'm not
dealing
talking
with
about,
the
I'm not even talking
30%?
about just the working thing. I'm just talking about the dynamics in the marriage. If it goes from what I said, these are statistics, that a woman's workload goes up by 6 hours if she's get with a man while his workload goes down by an hour. If I'm having to do, like there's a movie on Hulu, it's called Fair Play, and I would encourage the married couples in general to watch that movie. In that movie, they're just talking about how women, our jobs are so intense. We're in the home when we're in the home. And I'm not saying you, D, but there are men. If I don't tell him every day to take out the trash, he will not do it. He can literally see the trash falling over. And I know this is something that's minute, but this is the kind of stuff that makes where women start to get overwhelmed.
Listen again. So yesterday I heard it taught, right? And it's no disrespect. I'm just being truthful. But they were talking about the dynamics in the home. And again, it's like we're so quick to put down what the man does, but we really overlook what the woman does. So he was like, basically, if a man cheats on you, if he beats you up, of course you got a reason to leave. Like we are the reason. Listen, I don't know many guys who are physically
Me
abused.
either.
Do I know a couple?
I only know
It is
one, and he was
minuscule.
on
Like,
drugs.
thank you. You see what I'm saying? It's so minuscule, but women talk about the man cheating and stealing the money. These things rarely happen. But what I can tell you from my honest lived experience, I would say at least 80%, if not 90, of the relationships I know, regardless of whether or not they're married or not, the woman is verbally abusive to that man. But that doesn't get recorded and it gets overlooked. But women are loose. I have heard something. I'm like,
Sure, I've
man,
been
a
part
woman
of it.
thought to say that.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
so okay, Chris, from what you're saying, a woman, and I hear me, I'm not justifying their behavior. I'm not justifying the behavior of women. Can we also look at the dynamics of, because I've been in this situation before where we had a discussion and the guy will say, babe, if you come to me like this, I will respond. So I'm coming to you like this in the tone that you asked me to come to, and you're not responding. It's almost like talking to a child. When you first tell your child to sit down, you're probably sweet with it. But when we're talking about the same thing for the 100th time, even though I'm still wrong, I'm responsible for my volume. Can't you see how that will cause people to go to a heightened level? Because we talked about this for the 100th time now. And now, even though I'm wrong in my tone, I'm just so frustrated that I'm talking to you crazy because I'm blowing off steam.
You sound frustrated now. You're doing a good
No,
job.
I didn't
But
know.
I know. I would say this though. No, I don't understand it, and that's not reality either. Matter of fact, a lot of these women work for jobs that are more vicious than anything they deal with in the home on a daily basis. And they somehow can maintain their composure. And you know what else they maintain? They maintain their volume, their tone, their texture. And you know what else? They dress appropriately. And you know what else? They do anything that's requested of them. So it's layers to both sides. So I hear you saying we had this conversation. Okay, great, but that may just be a part of it at this point. I do agree that a lot of men have been taught to be passive on several levels. I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying, well, one thing we have not done. Now, if I don't agree with Kevin Samuels or anything else, one thing I agree: we will slander the man, drug him through the mire and clay. We have not addressed the woman the way we need
until
to.
now.
But do you think it's fair because men are the leaders? So we got to start with y'all. Men are the
We've been
leaders.
hearing it for over 40 years.
And then
has
D,
there
we're
ever been
still
a
having
time
problems because
where-
the divorce rate is still 70 to 80%. And I just can't.
Because of you all,
No,
though.
but I
don't
don't think it's
leave.
only because
We
of
don't
women.
leave.
You,
Even
that
the men
number
that are
is
abused
too
don't
high
leave.
for it to only be the woman.
Right? No, but what we're saying is. Well, we're saying what 80% of the time the woman files. So a file of the divorces filed 80% of the time is the woman. Is what
Yeah,
we're
so
saying.
that number is so high. Of
every
all the
time.
marriages that's going on, that number is high for you to put all the blame on the women. What are the men doing? And I'm not saying that women do not have a part in this, but I'm saying what is happening in these homes where you have a woman. Our group actually usually looks forward to marriage more. We get into the marriage and now relationship is so stressful and I'm so unhappy that I'm willing to file for divorce. And a lot of times, even it comes with women, we don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I want a divorce. We probably checked out a year ago because we have been talking and begging and asking and nothing is changing. So now just, you know what? I'm checked out and
For
I'm
better
done.
or for worse. I mean, you married him. I just say that may be something that you may have to deal with. He's not, you know what I'm saying? I think certain things we got to learn what we can deal with and what we shouldn't be dealing with.
But you see how you just said that she has.
Of the last few people I've spoke to, women who I spoke to, and I know this is minuscule, but I'm just saying they left the man because he didn't have sufficient ambition. I wanted more out of life and this kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of that plays a part too. They think they graduate now, they earn more money now. He ain't doing enough now. He trying to. I mean, again, that's not a reason to get a divorce. My honest opinion. It is what it is.
Let me jump in. When you, I think what happens is we see these minute and small number of issues, and we say, okay, look at the woman is not happy. Do you know how many men I know got married and were not happy with the way that they were treated and still stayed?
Come on.
But women, I guess we the weaker vessels, so we out of here.
We get like he just talked about. And now I know some men been verbally abused. Me and my cousin laughed at a situation. Now I'm not putting his business out here, but before we could even get out our tuxedo, there was a major issue from the day of the wedding. And he didn't do it. He just showed up with marks on his face. But he stayed in that marriage. And you know who filed for divorce? She did in the end. So men go through a lot of stuff too. But it's like when the men say, oh, we don't like this, it's like, oh, you're weak. Oh, you're weak. I need a strong man. Or here's the thing. When have you ever heard a man say, I need a woman that can handle me? But you've heard plenty of women say,
y'all will say
I need
that
a man
sexually,
that can handle me.
Y'all will say that sexually there, D. Come on now.
We're not talking about sex. When is sex abusive?
Well, when she say I need a man to handle her, what is? How do you equate that she's automatically talking about abuse?
When she said no, when them women say I need a man that can handle me, we both know we all adults here, and I think Chris is educated, I'm educated, and so are you. You know exactly what that means. That means she has attitude problems. That means she has personality and behavior issues, and she need a man that's not a psychiatrist that can sit through this foolishness and take it. That's what that means. We know I'm not stupid. I can read between the lines. I know exactly what that means. And time again, when I look at these shows and I look at these podcasts and I hear these women talking, I need a man. You can't be weak to handle me. I'm asking you, when have you ever heard a man say that?
Well, you guys are the leaders, so I wouldn't expect you to say that because y'all kind of go in with the mindset that I'm gonna handle things. I mean, even if they don't, you go in with the mindset that I'm the handler.
You can't make this.
But isn't that a valid thing? What man do you think goes into a relationship that doesn't plan on handling things?
You missing it. When I say handling, I'm not talking about him handling business. I'm telling you, I need a woman that can handle me, handle my foolishness, handle my mouth, handle me, my personality issues, my rage, my inability to control myself.
I don't think y'all say it, D, but y'all come into relationships sometimes, and it's not all men, but emotionally unintelligent. So y'all don't say it because men and women are different. Let's just be honest. Men and women are different. Y'all don't say it.
You are prevaricating like a mother falcon.
How is that
I'm asking you, when have you ever heard a man say that I need a woman that
he
can
wouldn't
handle
say
me?
that because men are different.
Yeah, man.
Men are I'm telling you, that's just like you're expecting. You can't expect a woman to take on the role of man and man to take on the role. I know the world trying to bleed the sex and say we're all the same. I don't agree with that. We are different. So that's what I think.
So we agree. You've never heard a man say with his chest out, I want a woman that can handle my verbal abuse.
I've only heard that with the sex stuff. I've only heard it with the sex stuff.
But yeah, and if he hung like a horse, you need somebody to handle that. It's called a geyser. And she been with so many men, her oxytocin.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Listen, you ain't nowhere in the world. We ain't talking about sex today, but come on now.
Okay,
most men that say that, it's them dudes that's probably carrying more loads than anything. And 80,000.
It's not even just about being hugged. He might just be saying, "I need her to be able to handle my sex drive." It doesn't have to.
I get that, but never. So we agree. It's never been about his personality. It's never been about him saying, "Oh, you need to be able to handle me and my foolishness." Do we agree?
You're right, but you're adding the foolishness part on the end. But D, I'll give you a point for that. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I love you, man.
You know I'm right. She didn't want to take that L.
When they say handle, that don't always mean foolishness, though.
I've never seen or heard a woman that said that didn't come with drama. I haven't heard it. Every, you know, if I'm saying every, you know, I never deal in absolutes. I have never ran into a woman that said that sentence and didn't come with a whole lot of drama. I've never seen it.
Okay, our women can we can tone it down, D. I'm agreeing with you. We can tone it down.
Good. Because that comment means drama.
Absolutely.
That's how men interpret it. But I like what Jay said, man. The majority of our grandparents, they had their homework balance, but they made it work, man. And I was blessed to see a lot of my great aunts, uncles, and so forth, grandparents. And listen, man, Trina, the way you talk about it was not what I experienced. And was everything perfect? I'm sure not. I know I was young. I get it. But they made it work, and Death did them part. At the end of the day, I think the Most High is going to be more pleased with that than a woman saying, well, he ain't got enough ambition or I can do better. You're not talking about a lot of times of women just talking about, I think I can do better.
But you see how you just said that, Chris, that you saw positive examples. If 70 to 80% of women are filing for divorce, how many of us have grown up in homes where the marriages did not work? Like me, I am a product of seeing a bunch of mistreatment going on in marriages. So, I'm still trying to remain hopeful. But I feel like so many people have not seen a good example of what marriage should be. So with you having that experience, you kind of are an anomaly, because if so many families are falling apart.
Well, let me say this. My Uncle Ronnie married my Aunt Doris. They're still married. My Uncle Brian, they're still married. My Aunt Betty, she didn't stay married. My Aunt Base, she got married. Last one, he was there. He was there for a long time. Of course, my parents, my uncles on my father's side, my mother's side, a lot of them stayed married. I've seen it pretty much my whole life. Where it started to fall off is as they got younger. As they got younger, that now that like my generation, oh God, and then the generation under me, oh sweet Jesus, you know what I mean? That's when it started to go down. But I cannot say that majority of them were positive, healthy, strong marriages. And
But
the
do you see how
women,
you said?
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I think you are absolutely handsome man. So I don't want you to take this offended. Your age allowed you to see that because you're saying as they're getting younger. See me, I'm 36. So I'm in that part of that younger generation that did not get to experience seeing healthy relationships. You saw a bunch of toxic business. I mean, I have a aunt and uncle that are married right now, but the beginning part of their relationship, it was like, if that's what it's gonna have to take to get married, then I'm gonna be single. No,
You said you're
we
gonna
just
be
don't
single
see it.
forever?
Huh? No, their relationship was God. Now you know, D. I don't mind a dog. Don't smother me today. But I think we need good examples. Like I recently just joined another church, and one thing I can say about it, this church is filled with a bunch of young married couples, and the pastor is doing more and more to highlight the positive benefits of marriage. Because many of us did not see it, it would be great if those things can be highlighted in the next best place, which is church, to give us an example. Because I still believe marriage is beautiful. I just want marriage to be done correctly, and I just don't want it to have to be where we got to do so much long suffering. I think love is beautiful. You know, I know you said it wasn't really doing it like that, but I just don't want to be miserable. I'm part of that group that I am independent. I mean, and I don't even want to say independent. I'm self-sufficient, meaning I can take care of
She's
myself.
learning.
So since I am self-sufficient, I can't see myself getting married and staying in a relationship where I'm absolutely miserable. We have tried to work on these issues. We tried to go to counseling and nothing is changing. I can't see myself staying for years and years and years just being so miserable.
I get that.
Honestly, Trina, I think that's no disrespect to you. I think that's selfishness.
To not want to stay in a relationship and be miserable for years and years and years.
Absolutely. The fear of it is selfishness because you're thinking about you. You have a child, I believe, but I guarantee you everything every day ain't sunny, sweet, right? Am I right?
With my son?
Yeah.
No,
Every day
you can't
fantastic.
A son is a child. A son is a child.
It's the principle of it, though. It's the principle of it. You say you believe you just changed your church. If you believe this is a protocol designed by the Most High Himself, then we have to honor it as such and say that this is going to be the best way till the Messiah comes back the second time. But this is just the way it's going to work best.
Okay,
and
so
to say I opt out of it, I think does you a great disservice because it will bring whether you like it, love it, want it to be like that, or believe it or not, what's going to bring the best out of you as a man? Not your mama, not your girlfriends, not your pastor. It's a husband.
Okay, and Chris, what you're saying that if more people were operating in the Bible, when it says loving her like Christ loved the church, the Lord told the man to love the woman, and all these qualifications that He listed about love. What is love? Patient, love is kind, and all these things. I feel like we're doing marriage, but we're not even though we said I do. People in the marriage are not doing it God's way, and they want to just stamp on it. If the husband is really honoring the love thing, and he's really on that, I don't see how a woman would just want to get up and say, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, I hear that. I've heard that like 3 million times, all from women, love me how Christ loved the church. So that's what the man's supposed to be doing. But what they have not done is to go back and see how Christ actually loved the church. And I guarantee you wasn't free apple pie every Sunday. That's just not what it was. You love your son, so you give him parameters. Like, you can't go sleep over this house. You got to be at this time. You can't watch this. You can't eat that. That's a part of love, whether you like it or not. Is that? Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Very good. And so that's why Christ said, "I love you guys." They walked out of Egypt, right? Then we walk out of Egypt. D. Anyway, but
No, I'm here.
yeah,
I'm
but
digging
no,
up
but
something that
and the
I'm
first
about to
thing he
drop a
said
bomb
was,
on.
he said, "I love you guys so much. I'll be your God forever. Here are my list of rules. You got to follow my laws." That's just
But
the
even
way
with
it
you
is.
saying that, even though there's rules that are that's attached to love, there's also a sweetness. There's also a kindness. Maybe I don't know if husbands get so stuck on the part of the rules and regulations. Where's the sweetness of you that makes me want to just melt in your arms? Like nobody wants.
Okay,
Can
love.
I can I
I've
can I
heard.
jump in for a second
Please
though,
do.
Chris?
Please
Because
do.
I got something I want to drop to your
Please
spirit.
do.
And it's gonna bless both of you.
Oh Lord.
Check this out. So I found this thing, and this is gonna bless you. She said the reason why women divorce. Y'all ready for this? Let me make this big so you can definitely get a whole fix of it. It said
Oh my God.
the reason why women divorce. You ready? This number one is gonna blow your mind. The number one reason. You see this? Most women no longer dream of being housewives. They want satisfying creative marriages.
Wow.
Number two, women look forward to true equality of sexes. Men look backwards to the golden age of marriage. And here go three. They're less willing to accept unhappy relationships with men. Here's number four. We all know this. Men believe they have more to lose than divorce. You see this. So, now this is from a magazine. What's Divorce Magazine? So they got data. So I hope that helped you.
But D, would you want to be in a relationship for years and years and years and just unhappy?
I took vows to be in this marriage.
God bless y'all. Y'all, that's why y'all the stronger vessel.
I took vows to be in this marriage, and that's why I'm taking my time because I take those vows lightly. I think we
Maybe
live
that's
in a
what we
day
need
and
to do,
age
a better
where
job vetting. You said it. If we did a better job vetting, maybe we wouldn't get in these relationships where you married somebody and it's like, oh my God, this is not what I want.
that's true. So let's end this. How do we fix it? I'll start with you, Trina. I'll let the ladies go first. What do you think needs to happen so we won't keep having these discussions on, not getting married, not finding the right person? I think we have issues with, women. They feel like the man got to prove something before they submit, but men are saying, yeah, and during that time we catching kind of hell from you. We're not getting everything that we want from a woman, because when you saying you're not going to submit to us till we prove ourselves, you basically telling this man, I'm not going to give you everything you want till you show me this. So you have to give me everything, and I'm going to hold back on you. That's what men are saying. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying this is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think needs to happen so we can break that dynamic? What do you think needs to happen there?
From what you just said, because remember, we're supposed to be submitting to our husbands, so I feel like the guy kind of has to do something to get her to, even in the asking of marriage, for me to say yes. So he has to, in a sense, to show me something, because you don't just see a woman in the street and say, hey, you're my wife, come on and follow me. No, you have to court and, get her to say yes. Now, once she has said yes, I think that part of the thing we need to do is stay out of the bed and really vet. It's a known fact now that
I don't want to talk about sex today because
I know,
I
but
was
I'm
going
just
to
giving
mess
you a
that
thing.
up.
Oh, hold on. Couples now or people are having sex on average by the third date. When you have opened that door,
Wait,
red
third?
flags now become pink ones, and pink flags now become blush, and it just keeps getting until you missed all this point. Because it's not necessarily that you married a bad person; you guys just weren't compatible, but you were in the bed and you missed the signs. So really talking about what do we see for each other, and really just spending that solid time. And then once we have got into the marriage, let's keep Christ as the center. Let's keep our ear gates open because our spouse is changing. Let's not go into the marriage and get into cruise control and just feel like, oh, we're just here, you know?
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, man. I think that certainly these kind of conversations actually dealing with the root of the problem. I think that that's going to play a major role in it. Because I don't, as far as for non-believers, I'm not sure what could be done for them. But if we're calling ourselves believers, I think getting back to the principles of the Bible is the only thing that's really going to save us from. Because it's like we had remarkable results for a long period of time, and now in comparison is pretty devastating. And I think that if we get back to what has always worked, get back to the word and make the adjustments, regardless of how we feel or what we have been taught, I think that if we accept God's word as the truth on this, I think that we can really make a major difference.
Okay. And I agree with both of you. I really thank you guys for joining me. I know it was late, but I'm glad you guys joined because you took this conversation to a whole nother level. I think it starts with, first of all, it needs to be, like he said, an understanding of what the biblical principle of marriage is. I can't see myself marrying somebody that's not a believer. So whoever I marry will understand, and we will talk about what I expect, and I want to know what she wants from me, and you know, if I see her and I see value in her and I believe she'd be valuable to me as a wife, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure she gets what she wants from me as far as that. And and hopefully she will be that way. I think it starts there. But biblical principle, a lot of us don't want that biblical principle. We want to live in a modern time. And I think that's probably where we're starting to get off kilter or off the rails here. But I think what I want from my wife is to understand that I love her and my love will go beyond emotion. And I think we could do a better job of expressing that or showing. So men, sometimes we don't talk it. We just show you. You know what I'm saying? We show you can trust us. We show you that you can have faith in us or that we're going to protect you. Or we demonstrate our strength. We demonstrate these things. I mean, sometimes I think we get wrapped up in wanting to be in the movies, when they just brushing each other's hair and all of that. I don't really believe that's what real love is. And I think when you start looking for that, that's how we go to that, oh, I'm no longer happy or I'm not in love with him anymore. And that leads to more divorce. I think we need to work on that. And I think it's once we get the biblical principles right and understanding our roles and understanding that we need each other and understanding and having good communication, I think we'll be okay. But I'm trying to get us to like each other.
D, can I tell you, I so love to hear you when you talk about what you feel like you're going to do for your wife. Even though you are so very masculine, the way you speak of how you want to treat your wife is absolutely beautiful. So I did want to celebrate you for doing that.
Thank you. And I love the fact that Trina, she was standing her own. I love the fact that she can speak eloquently about what she wants. And I think, Trina, if you did have a podcast, I would do you like you do me. I would heckle you in your conversation. But I think I think more women need to hear from you because you do have a lot to say to them. You do have great points. And me and Chris will heckle you when we feel like, hey, it's time for the men to have a discussion with you. And Chris, you've always been welcome on my show. You bring such a great perspective on that. I would love for you guys to join me because next week's sex talk is going to get down and dirty.
Now I'm here for that, D. Now
it's going to look. I'm looking at some of this stuff I'm gonna be talking about, man. Chris, I might need you, my boy, and not in in the most plausible way. I know Trina gonna watch because this is something that she believes in. And I will ask you both on our way out, do you think, we know church talk about sex, but do you think they really talk about sex? Like sex. Like the good and the nasty. Do you think they had these discussions? I'm talking about even in marriage. You were married before, Chris, right?
Yes.
Did they talk about sex, positions, G-spots, all this stuff? Did they have those down and dirty talks with y'all about this?
That's easy. No. Period.
Trina?
And I will say no. I've always said that we need sexual education. The talk that you got in church was basically almost like sex was something that the devil made instead of it being something that came from God.
And so next week we have that talk. Now, I've never been married. So I'm happy that you guys, hopefully you guys can join me because you can bring a perspective. And as both of you know, I don't really like to talk about stuff that I haven't been. So I would hope that I can have some married people give me perspectives in the comment section to help, because marriage is different. You know, when you're married, your sex life is even different from what I understand. So I want, some married people to chime in. We're going to talk. We adults here. Let's talk about it because we need to know, because I want us to have, I think sex is important in marriage as well. It's intimacy, is all of that. And I do agree when Trina said some of us fellas, we ain't throwing it down like we think we are. So we're going to talk about that next week. I'm going to jump over here right now. But Chris, do you have anything you want to say on your way out?
Yeah, man. Listen, I just appreciate the conversation. Thanks for letting us join, man. I think these conversations is where it's all going to start.
Thank you. Trina?
Yep.
I just want to say I love both of you and I love all the listeners. Everybody have a great rest of your work week.
All right, everybody, we're going to chime out right now. So I love you. Next week, I'm going to start earlier, but I'm going to try to get Chris on here, so it might start at the same time. Let's see what happens, okay? Love you.